Hey, everybody, welcome to Matt Men, your source for all things professional wrestling. I'm Andrew Zarin. I'm joined by the originator of the P word, Richard Napoleon.
Little do people know. Copyrighted it.
You made that word. You invented that word.
Are you cold or you got something hiding under that jacket?
No, my shoulder's killing me. The cold is
how's
really
your shoulder, by the way?
Dude, it's so bad. For people who don't know, which I think a lot of people don't know, they didn't see my post this week. On Sunday, I went to a 7-year-old's birthday party. One of my friends. And I'm friends with the 7-year-old. I just hang out with
very weird.
One of my friend's kids. And, I'm going to start off by saying I wasn't drunk. I had just gotten there like 15 minutes.
You were drunk.
And I was challenged to race.
You drove there drunk.
Like
old school. 1977 Andrew drove there drunk.
Just open up. I got a kegger next to me. I got to just opening everything up. So it was like a bunch of kids, and then like all the dads decided that they're going to race.
Yeah.
I was like,
it's never a good move, dude.
It's never a good move. So I'm like, I got to be my friend Mike. Yeah, you've met Mike. It was his son's birthday. That guy. No, not that guy.
Okay.
Mike. From the club.
Oh,
Mike from the
okay,
club.
yeah.
So
that's what you got to say.
Yeah.
You say Mike from the club.
So he's running. I'm like, I really want to beat him. Like, I just got that urge. I just really wanted to beat him.
Didn't he just get out of the other P word?
Yeah, he did.
Why do you want to beat a man?
I want to beat him.
Who's in the clink like in a foot race, man?
So
That's
bad.
just mean.
I wanted to beat him so bad. And first of all, he's all jacked. You know, he's like crazy jacked.
Prison jack, dude.
Prison jack.
What made you think you could beat him?
I thought I could beat him. I honestly thought in my head because I run to my train every day. So I'm like,
from here?
No, I time myself, and my timing has gotten so good. I'm down to 30 seconds. I can make it from the E train to track 20 in 30 seconds.
Oh, are you one of those a-holes that just like knocks into everybody?
I blaze ahead of you.
I'd trip you so hard.
So I'm like, I could do this. So I'm wearing my Jordans, and I don't lace them, obviously.
It makes you faster?
Because they make me faster. Yeah. And I fucking go, and I realize my shoes are too loose to run, and I start going forward, and rather than falling straight on my chin, I decided I'm going to do a fucking ninja roll. So I tucked and rolled, and I did a shoulder roll, and I bumped bad.
Ooh.
And I rolled, and I popped up immediately, so it was like an easy roll. My arm felt like I ripped it off. I was like, oh shit, this isn't good. And I downplayed the whole thing. I'm like, no, I'm fine. And I'm as the night's going, the adrenaline is lacking and it's hurting more. I went to the doctor. I went to City MD. They took an X-ray and they're like, yep, you separated your shoulder from your clavicle. You tore a bunch of your tendons or ligaments, whatever.
Was that the technical term they used?
Yeah.
You tore a bunch of your ligaments.
Yeah, you tore a bunch of your ligaments. And 6 weeks, I got to wear a sling.
Where is it right now?
I don't have it. I left it in my office.
That sucks, dude.
I'm in so much pain. They gave me nothing good also.
Yeah.
They gave me naproxen.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want that.
I don't think City MD gives you the good stuff.
Why?
I think they're just like...
I got to find an old Greek doctor. That's
what
I need.
He'll give you, take this Frappe and 7 OxyContins.
Yeah, so my shoulder's really bad.
I have a couple of follow-up questions about your injury.
Yeah, go ahead.
Number one.
Yeah.
You said I was afraid to hit the ground with my chin. Do you not have this reflex?
No. I felt that I lost control.
Okay.
Like I was really low. It was going to be a nosedive.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So you decided to roll.
I decided to roll because, Can
I break something to you?
Yeah.
So we're at the age. All my buddies were all pretty much the same age.
Yeah.
Right. You're in the same age too. Everybody's pushing 40 in some way.
Yeah.
Can't be doing that shit no more.
I know, dude. I gotta tell you, my wife Jess is so freaking mad at me.
I'm sure.
She's like, you already. I need back surgery.
Yeah,
that's one. I got 4 ruptured discs.
Sucks.
I got a torn hamstring that never got fixed in my knee. I tore my MCL 4 years ago.
Yeah.
I got my hip is gone to shit because I stand like Mr. Peanut now.
Okay.
Because I take the pressure off. I stand more on my right side.
Okay.
Because my left leg is screwed up from the sciatica from my back. So I'm already all screwed up.
I haven't seen you stand in like 4 years too.
This
is it. This is usually our interaction.
So I'm already. She's like, "What would make you think?" I'm like, "I really wanted to beat Mike." She's like,
the man who just got out of prison.
She's like, why?
Uh-huh.
Why? I'm like, I want to beat him.
I wanted him to. I wanted to berate him physically so bad that he'd want to go back to prison.
Yeah, yeah. By the way, he's like 44. Also, he's not a young man either. So I totally screwed myself up.
You know, if you go to the doctor and you need 10 surgeries, they give you the 11th one for free.
For free? Is that how it works? I'm building it, dude.
Muscle. Did the kids did your kids say, "Oh, Daddy's hurt"? Did they try to console you?
No, they didn't give a shit. But there is a guy. So it's on video. I posted on my Twitter.
You sent it to me. I didn't know what was going on, and then I was like, "That looks like Andrew." Ooh, that's a bad tumble. Yeah. And then the guy goes, "Sail
it down." Ugh. There's a guy in the back. He just screams over and over again, "Sail it down, sail it down."
Was he drunk? Did he drive drunk?
I'm sure he did. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So it was not a fun week for me.
You're gonna have to get yourself fixed up, man.
Yeah. So
I can't keep giving you those back rubs.
Man, I know. I'm running out of them. I've run out of those back rubs.
I'm getting arthritis.
Yeah. Arthritis.
I'm getting arthritis. So, shout out to Tim in the chat room for $20, man. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you. So that was my story for the week. I've had a terrible, terrible week.
Sorry to hear that.
Also, a lot of shit going on with work, which is not fun, but we're here talking pro wrestling. I watched everything this week. I don't know how I had time, except for a lot of the G1. I'm watching this right now. We're watching Naito and Kenta right now in a match. So Kenta looks really weird now.
Yeah. You know what? Like once the seas open up and we start getting the more international, I think this is gonna get stepped up really good. How do you feel about? We didn't even start the show yet.
No, we haven't. I mean, we did, but go ahead.
How do you feel about Sonata winning B Block?
I think that's cool. I'm excited for that.
Him and Ibushi tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm into this.
I want Ibushi to take it.
I think this is Ibushi's year.
Yeah.
I think he needs to take it, and I think he needs to win the title.
Same here.
I think it's time for him. So a lot of wrestling. I don't know where do you want to begin? You want to begin with Raw?
Yeah, Raw was okay. SmackDown was by far the better show.
SmackDown was a very good show. I felt that the hype that they did in that opening package,
yes,
for the new season helped. The New Day segment was great.
So good.
Class act, dude. Those guys are great.
Yeah,
they really are. I'm really excited to see what they do with Big E, which we'll go into also. But the big story here is Roman, and I want to talk about this because, man, every week I like him more and more.
Oh yeah,
and I'm curious what most people are saying about this because you don't really see the Roman, oh, there he is again attitude.
Right.
Like the disdain that people had for him. That's gone. But I'm curious where people are falling. Do you think people those guys have warmed up to him? Or do you think they still hate him and they're just not vocalizing it?
I think it's one of those things where those haters know he's awesome and they're just shutting up about it. They're not vocalizing their opinion anymore. Yeah. Because listen, man, like this is the best. This is what we wanted from Roman forever, right? And the one thing that WWE does very good is when they really decide to put the polish on somebody, they do it very well.
Yeah.
And it took 6 years for Roman to get to this point where he's the tribal chief. He's a weirdo. He's got Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
He's trying to kill his family for some reason.
Yeah.
While telling them that he's putting food on the table.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm like, they're all millionaires. Every single one of them is a millionaire. Unless like storyline wise, they don't pay Jimmy and Jay that much.
I guess that's the story we're gonna go with.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. I feel like he's great in his role. And here's the thing, right? This is all leading to The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you look at how they did this draft, right?
Mm-hmm.
Raw got a lot of good people. Raw got AJ. Like we're talking about main event guys. Their main event is not that strong on the SmackDown side.
Oh, I disagree.
Give me their top main event guys. Roman, Seth, Daniel Bryan, Kevin Owens.
The Fiend's on Raw.
Fiend's gone.
I guess Braun Strowman's technically a main event guy.
Braun, but you really got about 3 guys. But if you think about it,
you have a deep. When they were on the roster, when they were on the ramp last night, and the SmackDown roster was there, I was like, holy shit! Like, look at the talent on that dais. I guess if you would you call that part the dais?
Yeah, sure.
Aleister Black, Kevin Owens,
Yeah.
Seth, Braun. I'll throw Braun in there. Cesaro, Nakamura, Sheamus. I'll throw Sheamus in there. I've kind of warmed up to him.
Who, Sheamus?
Just like a little bit.
Because of Cesaro.
Yeah, because it's Cesaro.
Yeah. I thought that was good. I like that they got together. But,
Big
if
E.
you look at this, Roman, who are Roman's opponents?
The Usos.
But really, if you think about it, you've set up Roman as the guy, right? He's your world champion. So now you got to set up your heels. You got to at least have 2 or 3 top tier guys leading into next year. He really doesn't have that. The Braun thing was a one-off. That's done.
Yeah.
He killed Braun. Beat the crap out of him with the chair. Braun wearing a suit jacket, by the way, in that interview was so weird. And a gold chain. I posted a Night at the Roxbury photo. So you really don't have a super heel or a babyface that's going to go against Roman.
Some people look dumb in a suit.
Some people look really dumb in a suit.
Yeah.
I think not everybody needs to wear a suit.
No, I agree with that.
Yeah.
100, especially
Not
wrestlers.
every-
Not
yes.
every wrestler looks
Not
amazing
every
in a
wrestler.
suit.
Yeah. So I think we got to look at the big picture here. And if you really consider what they're doing, they're setting it up. Why would you need to load up on heels if you got The Rock coming? Or load up on baby faces for Roman's opponent if you got The Rock coming? We're talking about, we're only a couple months away from January.
Yeah.
Right? WrestleMania is going to be around the corner. We're in October. We're mid-October. Next thing you know, it's January. Now you're talking WrestleMania season. Who are the guys on that SmackDown roster that you could potentially see Roman having a WrestleMania main event with? There's really nobody.
Honestly, it depends on that weird office, like who the office likes and that push factor, right? It could be anybody. It could be Daniel Bryan. You can build up Daniel Bryan. You can build up Seth Rollins. You can build up Big E. You can build up any number of these dudes. Kevin Owens. But
they're not going to go. They're not going to go with Seth. Right? They don't want to hit that well again because we've seen that and that Shield stuff. So many, it's been saturated. So right now, if you think about this, main event for Roman Reigns, it's only The Rock.
Absolutely.
By the way, Goldberg is coming back.
Great. He was on the little screen last night, right?
It's me.
Did you notice the wrestlers that were on the Thunderdome screens?
Yes, because they told me 500 times.
That's right. Jeff Jarrett, Goldberg. I think Brie Bella.
Brie and the daughter, Mark Henry.
Yeah. You know it's gonna be a quick smush match for Roman.
Squash
match.
Yeah.
Lars Sullivan.
Okay, let's talk about him.
They mentioned
the freak. They mentioned that he's the freak 22 times.
Very weird.
In his match, I got to tell you, he makes me very uncomfortable, even before all of the stuff, right? Yeah. And this guy still didn't learn his lesson. He's creeping on he's creeping on this girl in DMs, this yoga instructor, asking her for ass pics.
Go give me that ass pic.
I mean,
that's how you do it.
Isn't that
straight up? Give me that ass pic.
You know what? At one point, you're like, okay, the guy made these mistakes when he was younger.
Sure.
He did that porn.
Oh, yeah.
The BJ porn with the dude. Okay, you know what? He's a young, confused soul.
That's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, right?
That's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, yeah. That's how it begins. That's how you become part of the Gracie family. Yeah. You got to do those videos. And now you're like, okay, he did all these mistakes early on. He didn't get his fair share. He had a whole freaking mental breakdown. He got injured. There's some room for compassion. You know what I mean? Like, there's some room where you could say, you know what, though? Those mistakes were a long time ago. Maybe he's evolved as a human being. And then he's like,
yo, give me that
ass.
Give me that ass.
And I'm like, come on. You know what?
There's a way to be charming about it.
I got to tell you, I've never, I swear on everything, I've never messaged a girl.
Give me that ass.
Saying like, you know what? A booty pic would be great too. How much?
Give me that ass.
I've never. Listen, I'm married. Also,
you're also surrounded by asses.
I'm also surrounded by butts. So I really, it's just not in me. Like I'm not. That's not who I am. That's not how I message people. But I do think it's bizarrely hysterical that this guy is still like hitting girls in DMs.
Yeah.
After getting like this another chance on the main roster.
Listen,
he's a horny dude.
Right.
He's a freak.
He is a freak.
What do you want?
It's funny. You know my wife, right?
Yeah. Greek one.
We were watching SmackDown last night as like kind of like half paying attention, half background noise. And then she was like, wait, like, in this match, Lars Sullivan is the freak and not Jeff Hardy, as he takes his shirt off to reveal like a full back tattoo of like a demon, and this guy's got face paint. He's got like Salvador Dali face paint.
I know.
With
The
a little
contact
Picasso
lenses,
with the
contacts, and then the fake eyelids.
and the other guy's the freak.
The other guy's the freak.
And listen, Jeff Hardy, he's like in his early 40s, and he's still wearing Jenkos.
Oh my god.
The other guy's the freak.
The other guy's
the guy regularly in underwears with like a little beard.
He's just an ugly dude. That's why.
So weird.
You see how society's fucked up? You got the big ugly dude, and he's the freak. He does kind of look like Coco, though.
Super Coco.
He is
That's
Super
what I
Coco.
call him.
Yeah, he looks like our friend Coco. And I guarantee you, the way that Lars behaves, Coco behaves as well. Same way.
Give me that ass.
I won't. Hey, man.
Hey, man.
Listen, I don't want to bother you over a DM, but I really love an ass picture. That's how we would ask.
I've been asked for.
Me too.
Yeah.
I get it all the time.
I know.
I'm
It's
cool
weird,
with it.
right?
It's all right.
Oh, you're cool with it to the point where you're like, no problem.
I'm like, all right, buddy. One of those.
Flaccid or non-flaccid?
All
So
right,
you
here
say.
you go, bud. Always non-flaccid. And I always refer to them as bud, and I do a thumbs up. And always flaccid.
Here you go, bud.
So I don't know. I think the Lars thing is hysterical. Triple H on commentary singing "Super Freak" on it. They have to realize that they purposely said
He's also
freak.
dead.
Who?
Rick James.
Rick James is dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I thought he's very uncomfortable to look at. Let's talk about Big E.
You're gonna get a DM from Shin at some point.
What does he want? He wants a dick pic?
Yeah.
Flaccid though.
Yeah, straight
Flaccid,
flaccid.
yeah.
I told him it was covered in warts.
Yeah. My God, today's show is off the rails.
Yeah,
I
baby.
absolutely love it.
Mr. Gonzo, where are those notes?
Yeah, he didn't send anything today. Slacking.
Fucking lazy mother effer.
He's slacking. He's not even in the chat today.
You know how you spell Gonzo?
What?
Genzo.
Oh, I love it. Someone needs to do that Photoshop. So let's talk about Big E.
Yeah, dude.
New Day had their final match, and I'm using quotes here.
Yeah. You know they're coming back. That's like 8 Shield reunions right there.
You know, so it was funny because the report came out that Big E's getting a whole new attire, and he's going serious.
Like he's gonna do underwears.
I'm telling you what he's going to do.
Oh,
Black
please tell me.
trunks,
Oh yeah.
no shirt.
All
That's
right.
all that dude needs to do.
Yeah.
No design, nothing. Put him in the freaking Acolytes outfit.
You know, how long? Maybe somebody in the chat room could answer this question for me. How long has Big E's singlet said "slapping meat" on it?
I think for a while.
For a while,
and
right?
nobody's ever noticed?
The like we both genuinely had a belly laugh at the beginning of SmackDown when Xavier and Kofi were holding up Big E by each leg.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And he was gyrating.
And Stephanie goes, "That's obscene. Stop it."
And then
that was the best.
Another belly laugh when Otis comes out with the Money's in the Bank. And he starts doing the same thing. And I'm like, you know what? This shit will always make me laugh.
That's always funny. Big dudes doing that is always
Yeah.
funny.
We got to start holding friends like that.
I'd love to hold my friends like that. Yeah. I'm okay with that. We should make that a thing from
Just
now
like
on.
a big, like a leg hold.
Yeah.
And
Are you seeing MG Geek's messages? Because I'm not seeing anything from him.
like in the
Yeah,
chat room.
yeah.
No, I banned him.
Oh, okay.
No,
Is
I'm
that what
kidding.
it is?
I'm kidding. I did not. He just said he's terrible. And Shin said he's into warts.
I'm not seeing any of this.
And the YouTube chat.
Oh, there he is. Now it's
Yeah.
there. Wow, that's so weird. It was not there.
Did you refresh your window?
Yeah. My windows were dirty.
I feel real bad about your shoulder.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
I would say right now I'm at a 7.5 as far as pain goes.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, it's really bad. And it's hitting my head. Like it's radiating up.
Oh,
And I got
this
this crazy weird headache. It's like a
You
denseness.
should go to the doctor.
I did.
Again, the real doctor.
No, I like my Indian dude.
You should go to a doctor that's not City MD.
No, I love that guy. Love him. He's the best.
Do you know what a doctor is?
No. No.
Yeah, I do feel real bad for you. Real quick question.
Yeah.
Why no NXT in the draft?
Oh, that's a good question. Do you want to save that for the end?
I guess so.
Because it's a very deep thought.
Were
so
you
we'll do-
looking at notes right now that
No.
I didn't get?
No. I'll save it for the end. For the Q&A segment that we'll do. So, what do you think they should do with Big E? I want to get your opinion on this.
I think he should have a very big match at WrestleMania.
Yeah?
I think blow off the dumb feud with Sheamus. They did that, right? They blew it off.
I
right?
hope so.
I think that's a classic modern WWE mentality of like big guy versus big guy in like a weird way. I don't think I think Sheamus's days as a main eventer are behind him. Right?
Sheamus's days as a main event. Yeah, I think so. Like,
Yeah.
I think he's, him and Cesaro as a tag team really, I think it saved them for a while. Sheamus is moving to Raw. We forgot that part.
Yeah, Sheamus is moving to Raw,
Yeah.
so it was like his last match on SmackDown, right?
With Cesaro, yeah.
With Cesaro. So I would like to see next week Big E start a very high profile feud with somebody. Now we already have
Lars.
Yeah, I don't know,
But
man.
Lars has to win. Lars has to, in order to recover. Listen, they got to rehab that guy, right?
Yeah.
So how do you rehab somebody that's so tainted?
Mhm.
Well, here's the good news. Most people watching SmackDown, let's say 2 million people, most of those people have no idea the issues that Lars Sullivan has.
Okay.
Right? They're not privy to this. So if 200,000 of them or 300,000 of them know, that's not big enough. Eventually, it's going to get out there. But the way you do that is by, PR wise, you mask that. You don't bring it up. You don't embarrass him, and you make this guy into a monster.
It's really the social media community that really gives a shit.
They care about everything too much.
Right.
That's the problem.
And
like, here's a great example. I was talking to somebody at one of the networks. I'm not going to say if it's Fox or SmackDown. And
SmackDown's a network?
Fox or USA. SmackDown, the SmackDown channel. They're very big, like the ratings. We were discussing this and how they look at the Nielsen social score.
Okay.
Way more than they do at the weekly ratings, right? They look at the 18 to 34 and they look at the Nielsen social score.
Okay.
Right? And that's how they gauge if something was a success. And I was telling them that, I'm like, listen, dude, I come from marketing. I come from social media. I got to tell you, from what I've observed and know, these social scores are bullshit.
Okay.
It's a it's a fractured group of the people watching that are that vocal to tweet and to communicate and to engage while they're watching. It's a very bizarre way to watch. It's a fraction of the audience.
That's how we watch it.
I have a number in my head that I've come up with myself.
Okay.
And I have no proof that this is an accurate number.
Okay.
I would love someone to determine what this number is. But I would like to say out of the Raw and SmackDown audience, about 70,000 people are live tweeting while it's happening.
Okay.
Like, I would say about 70,000 of those 2 million watching are sitting on Twitter and they're making at least one or two comments.
Oh, absolutely. Or checking out comments. Like, we get a lot of responses from people who just say, like, I'm just here to see you guys' tweets.
Yeah, we get a lot of that, which is awesome.
Yeah.
But I think that's the wall we're at with this.
Okay.
I have no proof of this. It's just what I've looked at, like from other people's engagements and like communication and followers and stuff like that. I think there's about 70,000 really diehard people that sit there every single Raw and SmackDown. They tweet.
Okay.
Is that your audience?
I'm gonna say generally no, because I think people still even. I don't know how to quantify this, and I agree with you. I would like to see like a number on this. And what is the accurate number of somebody who just goes home after a day of work, sits on the couch, doesn't give a shit about social media,
Just puts it on.
and puts it on, or somebody who does the same exact thing and says, "Hey, I got a couple of kids at home. Let me put this on right now while I do other stuff." I think if you're gonna jump on social media, there has to be like a reason for it, I guess.
So yeah, like CM Punk returns, The Rock shows up, awesome. And by the way, I got to tell you, based on our social media trends, right? Like that's what I look at. I look at our analytics. When we are tweeting, I got to tell you, the engagement is down tremendously. But it's not just us. It's everybody across the board. It's not. If it's just us, you can say like, oh, we're kind of sucking right now, or or we haven't done the show, or the show hasn't been up to par. It's not us. Like our podcast numbers grow every month. We're there's some sort of growth, whether it's 10% or 5% or WrestleMania season, we'll see like a big 30% boost in our numbers, consistent numbers, overall average. Our social media engagement, however, is down. Not for a lack of content.
You're trying to tell me something?
I think it's you.
Oh, damn it.
It's that people have gotten disconnected from this.
Yeah. This is also the dead zone of the year.
It is the dead zone of the year. Yeah.
Before Rumble, it's like post SummerSlam, before Rumble. We got a lot of stuff going on that engage people's attention. We had a very late NBA Finals this year.
Yeah, everything is off. This year everything is all screwed up, and I don't equate anything to trends this year because really, just overall,
we need a mulligan on 2020.
I did this really long marketing seminar online. I was bored and I signed up for this thing, and it was interesting, like how to market and all that stuff. And you could see, like, everybody's saying, my lights just went out next to me. The Undertaker showing up. Okay. You could see that there's really no answer to any of this, and this is what's kind of driving everybody crazy. They don't know how to market, and I think people are just giving up and they're starting over in 2021.
Right.
We're going to be at that point. WWE, for example, they're going to be 2021 is a reset year for them, and we spoke about this a couple of weeks ago. And now I'm starting to see some people reporting this, and there's a lot of inaccuracies with these reports. So I'll just say what I was told specifically. We're looking at WWE needs to get these guys back, these viewers, right? These viewers went somewhere. You could see that with the NBA Finals, regardless of people think that it's it's due to politics, and that's why the NBA playoffs and the NBA final ratings were the worst of all time. Normally if they did, I'm throwing a number, I don't have the exact number, I think it's in this vicinity of this. If they would do 18 million, they did 5.5 million, or 6 million, or 7 million. It's down astronomically, and I don't know if that has anything to do with politicizing movements and things like that, and getting behind a movement. I don't know if that's the reason, or if it's people are just so disconnected from this shit. They're like, I don't want to sit there and watch anything. I don't want to turn the TV on. I don't have time for this. I'm just going to watch Dawson's Creek on reruns, because that at least takes me to a good place.
Were you a big Dawson's Creek fan?
Love Peyton and Joey.
Who?
Peyton.
Pacey?
I don't know. Shows you. I never watched it.
Why Dawson's Creek?
People like to watch stuff from their childhood and their youth.
I pictured you more of a Seventh Heaven guy.
I was a big One Tree Hill fan.
Really?
Loved One Tree Hill.
Oh, you're a big Gilmore Girls guy, right?
Love the Gilmore Girls.
Yeah, go with that.
Love Lorelai! I'm a huge Lorelai Gilmore fan.
Do you think it's that people just don't give a shit about wrestling?
No, it's not just wrestling. Listen, the NFL numbers are
everything,
down.
Right?
I think it's everything. TV, for whatever reason, people thought TV numbers would be sky high, because where the hell are you going on a Friday night? Where the hell do you have to be? There's nowhere to go. And yet the ratings are down everywhere. So you got to look at this. You got to look at it in this scenario where WWE needs a reset, right? They know these people are somewhere. They haven't gone to the other product, because the other product is sitting where exactly it was. A little growth here and there, but there were around 1 million viewers. How do you do this? Well, you got to get those disenfranchised guys back.
Yeah.
And their plan is to bring back everybody for 2021, have these big main event matches, the Goldbergs, the Hunters, Undertaker, Rock. These are the guys that they want to bring back to some capacity, have them in Edge, have them in a main event story, and to garner some interest. And then you'll be like, well, you know what? I came for Edge, but that guy Aleister Black is really freaking cool. I'm kind of into him now.
Yeah.
So they're in that process right now.
The rebuilding phase.
Of rebuilding. And this year...
We've been saying that for years, by the way.
No. 2021 is going to be that year.
Just like the real rebuilding.
Well, the rebuilding is going to be, they're going to bring back all the old guys and pop the rating for the first half of the year. And then hopefully whatever they do at WrestleMania solidifies the whole summer. That's what they're going to have to do. They haven't done a good enough job at building the young guys for me. Now, I'm not saying me. I'm saying a viewer to be like, you know what? I really want to watch Keith Lee.
Okay.
I have to be home at 8. And here's the thing. Great question, right? When is the last time you felt that? When you're like, holy crap, Kevin Owens is in the main event on Raw? I got to watch this whole thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's tough.
That is gone. And that's a problem because the way we watched.
Yeah.
You and I,
Absolutely.
growing up in the 90s, the main event, you knew there would be no Austin has a title match in the main event. You know Austin's retaining, but
you got to watch it.
You got to fucking watch it because you got to see who comes in and what their setup is and what the ending is and that overrun. Oh my God, Austin got attacked and now he's in a Zamboni and he's going to murder you.
I think I agree with that 100%. Where maybe it's just because we're a little older and more discerning.
Look at this dude.
But that Sonata's awesome. Look at that outfit. Yeah. He's Muda's dude. So I think the main events for I would consider kind of like discerning fans. Braun Strowman versus Roman Reigns doesn't do jack shit for me.
No, but you know what though? The finish I liked.
Okay, but it's not something I stopped watching SmackDown at like the 9:20 mark.
Yeah, it's hard.
After the Daniel Bryan thing and when Murphy came out, that was pretty much it.
Okay.
And I was like, I got better things to do. And you know what I did? I watched Blade.
You watched Blade.
It's a little bit of Blade.
Yeah, and then you went back this morning, you fast forward to the point, and then you watched the finish.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't, honestly, I will watch the entirety of AEW and be extremely satisfied. For the most part, I'll do the same thing with NXT and be very satisfied. Raw, very rare that I stay till 11.
I have a very difficult time staying till 11.
SmackDown has a better chance of me staying till 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's just me. And I know I can just wake up early in the morning and fast forward through the shit I don't like.
Yeah.
And the stuff I want to talk about on our podcast.
It's hard.
Which we're doing now.
It's really hard. And, at one point I thought maybe I'm getting older. I got longer days. I wake up at 4:30 in the morning every day because my kids are up by 5:30. I'm like, maybe maybe it's me. But, dude, you know what? I'm up. I'm not going to bed.
Yeah.
I'm doing other things.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I'm doing other things.
Yeah. What are these other things?
A little bit of this.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit of this.
A
A little bit of this. A little bit of this.
this.
So I it's baffling to me that they know what works.
Yes.
They know how to get there. They just don't do it because they haven't created a star beginning to end that you're fully invested in. Right now, Roman, I'm fully invested in. I'm into this dude.
Yeah.
But
really,
they could have done this 2 years ago.
Excuse me. I think now is the right time to do it. I got a pitch for you.
Yes.
You ready? Roman versus Rock at WrestleMania.
Yes.
Right? Roman wins. Retains the belt. Rock wins the Rumble. Challenges Roman. If the only way I can get to Roman is winning the Rumble, entry number 29. You hear the music. Boom. I challenge Roman Reigns. They have a big match at the end, right? Rock is laying in the ring. Triple H's music hits. One more time, SummerSlam.
To set up for
and
SummerSlam.
that's your main event.
That's your main event of SummerSlam, and that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
Love it. Great.
That's it.
Great. Now I'm invested in that.
And then you keep Roman the unbeatable monster until Brock decides to come back.
Okay. So here's the problem, right?
Yeah.
We're falling in the same trap.
That he's becoming Brock Lesnar.
Well, yes and no, but we're falling in the same trap, and this says a lot about the current product. You mentioned The Rock, you mentioned Triple H, you mentioned Roman Reigns, and you mentioned Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
These are guys that have been in the business for 20-something years.
Sure.
On top, except for Roman, but Roman is their top guy.
He's on top. He's been on top.
7 years, 8 years on top.
7-time champion, right?
Whatever it is. So but we're not talking about any new talent developed over the last 5 years. And that's a problem. That's a philosophical problem within that company. What we should be talking about, a new guy that's at that level.
John Cena,
the new guy. but you know what I mean? Who's their guy? If you had one guy on this roster, realistically, and forget about us as, enthusiasts and analysts and stuff. One guy you look at on that roster, you're like, this guy is going to be he's going to be the biggest star in this company. He's the next guy. He's the next Austin. He's the next, whoever, Cena. Who is there? Nobody.
It's tough because you have guys who they press their heads and faces against that glass ceiling, right? And you really want them to break through. And apart from being a fan, obviously, like my choices will skew towards like a Nakamura or like a Samoa Joe or like a Cesaro. I want those guys to be on top, right? Realistically, if Balor kept himself healthy, if Balor was healthy,
Yeah.
it would have been a different trajectory.
But that's a done deal. That's over.
Right.
Balor's finished. Balor's 40 years old.
Adam Cole. The hell is that?
Nobody's here to get the door?
Adam Cole. You leaving?
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, you
All right.
go.
I think somebody's waving a gun at you. All right. Very bizarre emergency just happened. You have Adam Cole.
Can somebody get the door?
Terrible. Can you tell me what just happened?
Well, I have no idea who it is, but nobody's, there's like 8 people in the house. Nobody's getting the door.
Mm-hmm.
I got to stop to get out there.
Was it important?
I have no idea. I didn't look.
Probably delivery. Pizza delivery. We have Adam Cole, who's
Okay.
kind of right at that glass ceiling. Everybody seems to love him, right? Put him on the main roster. What does he do? Balor's a done deal, like you said.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens last week we mentioned, and you said they got a bit of a body problem with him.
Yeah, tremendous body problem with him.
You have Daniel Bryan, but do they want to go there again?
They did it already. They're done. That's over.
They're done with Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, because here's the thing. Daniel Bryan doesn't want to be full-time,
Okay.
right? He has... Here's the thing about Daniel Bryan. He's the most logical, normal human being in that roster.
Okay.
He loves his family, loves his wife, loves his kids, and that's his priority. He's not gonna go out of his way for that. He's not gonna put his, he's like, fuck it. I love wrestling, but I love my family more. He found what his real love is. So
Okay.
he's done. But again, who on that roster right now, you could look at and say, 3 months, that's the man. That's the future. The next 10 years of this company could be on that guy's shoulders.
Keith Lee. Karrion Kross.
Okay.
It's tough. It's tough. Bray
Look,
Wyatt.
Bray's always going to be, you know what? Bray, never put that title on Bray.
Okay.
Never put him in or at least for a while, don't put him in a match where the other guy has to also win. You know what I mean? Give him opponents that could get a high-profile match,
Okay.
but Bray's the guy. Bray's the high-profile guy.
Like The Undertaker.
It's such an easy thing for him.
Absolutely.
Such an easy thing. He doesn't have to do anything. It's all the great words from Ed Wood. It's all hair. It's all grunting and makeup. Karloff does not deserve to smell my shit.
Anthony JCP in the chat room keeps saying Jay
Anthony.
White is signing with WWE.
So Jay White is being poached by everybody.
Right.
Everybody wants Jay White.
Mhm.
His contract ends after Wrestle Kingdom.
It's so weird that everybody has that year-to-year
Well,
thing that ends at Wrestle
Well, they
Kingdom.
signed him to 2 years.
Mhm.
That they had signed him to 2 years. Listen, I think the thing about Jay White is that WWE will really package him.
Okay.
And get those little tiny things. I don't know. Is Jay White? You got to also remember: is he at the same appeal level as any of those other guys that have gone over to WWE?
If they let him talk,
Jay
if they
White
let
has-
him run his mouth.
If they let him talk, yes. But he has very little North American exposure.
Mhm.
Every one of those other guys that were on some sort of North, even Kenny Omega had a crossover with Ring of Honor. Jay
Yes.
White, not so much, but I would say he should stay another year.
Mhm.
But who knows? Listen, NXT could do something unbelievable with him.
He's young. I think the thing with Jay White, I've turned into such a fan of his when after the reveal of him being the stalking Tanahashi.
Yes.
And it took 2 matches where I was like, I'm sold on the Switchblade. This is amazing. I don't see WWE letting him run his mouth like he does in Japan. He cuts some of the best promos in the company. I can't see him saying, hey, put me in a box and I'll do what you guys want to do. Where as opposed to going somewhere else, well, he'll have the freedom. His match quality is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I know he did just get knocked out of the finals
Yes.
of the G1, but he's gonna have a feud with Evil, right? They're gonna do the Bullet Club thing again? I don't see it happening. But can you see him in the? But you can easily see him in the ring with everybody we just mentioned.
Oh yeah, 100%. I could see him being in the ring with everybody. Like Anthony says, Tessa. Tessa's gonna be big for, and this is the reality of it. And it's not. Yeah. Listen, we are years away from the top star in the company being Becky Lynch again. Becky was an organically created thing, and it worked. Tessa, we'll see what happens. I mean, if I'm her, I'm going to WWE, and I'm gonna become a multimillionaire and be a top heel, coming in and destroying Charlotte. That needs to be her. She needs to come in and destroy that roster, and you build up that WrestleMania. Listen, great feeder for Ronda to return. Great for Becky to return. Great for Charlotte to return. The women's roster on the WWE side has done a good job at solidifying stars. I'm talking about the face of the company.
Yeah. Tessa, it would be interesting if they had Tessa run through the female roster on NXT and then win the men's NXT championship.
I mean, they won't do that.
You don't think so? No. Because Impact did it, right?
They said they'll never make the China mistake ever again.
Okay. It worked when she did it with Impact, though.
With Tessa?
Yeah.
Yes, but the whole thing was tainted, right? We never saw it really work.
Okay.
Because the whole racism allegations happened. And then COVID.
And right into COVID. Right into COVID.
Isn't that how it always works? Just if you say a racist term 3 times in the mirror, COVID appears. That's how it works.
I saw some guy selling COVID 25 on the street corner the other day.
COVID 25? Yeah.
He said he's like, yo, it's the new shit.
It's the new shit. Forget about the 19. We got the 25. So let's do Q&As at the end, but I want people to think about this because this is a major problem in pro wrestling. And listen, AEW's doing a better job at telling you who their star is.
Yeah.
John Moxley has really become the star there. They've done it but everybody's new there, so it's not a fair analysis. You can't compare AEW and their handling of their wrestlers because they're still trying everything.
Right.
Compared to WWE that knows how to make it work.
That's the thing. They know if you fall in line with their system, you will end up getting somewhere. Unless somebody in the back doesn't like you and you get tossed off the stage in a wheelchair like Zack Ryder.
Like Zack Ryder, yeah.
I think that's a very interesting dynamic because like look at a Baron Corbin and look at a Braun Strowman where somebody higher up said, I see something in these guys no matter what. We're still going to put them on TV a whole effing lot.
I'm going to tell you, they ruined Braun Strowman. And you always make the comparison that this guy could have been a Hogan, right?
Yeah.
I never understood that until I started speaking to my friends that have like 6, 7, 8, 9-year-olds.
There you go.
This guy was so freaking over with kids.
Yeah.
And that's really what you need. You need a guy. And again, that's a Cena philosophy, right?
Yeah.
You get him over as a kid. Hulk Hogan, same thing. You get over as a kid with them. They continue on into adolescence. Then you tweak your character that appeals to them, and now you created a 20-year superstar that you make money off of.
But again, that's like Hogan came in at such a. And I know every episode this is like there's going to be our Hogan segment. This is our Hogan Knows Best talk. Hogan came in at a time where they really needed to attach the wagon to somebody.
I mean, you look at who was their champion before that.
Was it Cheek?
But I'm saying like the face of the company.
Yeah.
It was Backlund.
Right.
You want to like, what a corny dude.
And then you go from Bob Backlund to like a cartoon, a live cartoon.
Somebody said that Bob Backlund is the equivalent of Bret Hart's like championship reign.
Okay.
That he was a very good worker, but like you compare it like before and after.
Okay.
And how minuscule he was as a character. And I don't necessarily agree with this, right? Because I was a huge Bret Hart fan. Like he really appealed to me. It's the pink. I really like the color pink and the greasy hair. Loved it. But I was a huge Bret Hart fan. But if you look at it, like who were the champions before Backlund? You had Bruno, you had superstar Billy Graham, you had characters, cartoons, you know, monsters. And then you had Backlund, which was a tremendous worker, and he held the title for like 6 years, 7, whatever it was, something like ridiculous. That, and then you go back into the cartoons again. Same thing happened with Bret. You had the Hogans and the Warriors and the Savages, and then you had Austins, Rocks, Hunters, bigger than life, cartoons. You know, cartoons.
They were like the anime of of wrestling.
it's such a simple philosophy. I just don't. I think it's too many cooks in the kitchen. At the end of the day, everybody has and then there's a PR. They do those blind testing with case studies and all those things where 30% of the room doesn't like Austin because he's mean. So now they're gonna tweak his character and make him a little nicer.
Yeah,
it doesn't work.
So the Braun thing, I'm glad you finally agree with me on that.
Yeah, 100% I agree with you.
Because it's always it's the kids, right? Like kids will get hooked. The parents will buy all the stuff, and then they're a fan for life. I wouldn't say Braun is ruined because they can easily throw him in a blender and come up with like anybody who The Office really loves. They will push and push and push until it works. Mark Henry's a great example. Mark Henry got signed to like an insane deal.
10-year deal.
And as amazing as he always was, it wasn't until he was at the end of his career
that he figured it out.
They figured it out and they were like, oh,
but
you're
he figured it out.
Right. You're going to destroy everybody and you're going to have a crazy ass world title run. You're going to feud with Daniel Bryan of all people and John Cena and it's going to be amazing.
Yeah,
right.
And he was his last run on top was unbelievable. Very good run.
Right. So it takes a while sometimes. I think that's what they see for Strowman and a guy like Corbin is they'll keep pushing and pushing and pushing, and then maybe you never know. 5 years later, we might be like, "Yo, Baron Corbin, you see this dude? He came in on a fucking helicopter with bat wings."
Historically, also with wrestling, the 25-year-olds are not the guys on top ever. It's a rarity. Like we got a really rare thing with Rock being so young.
Rock, Brock, and Randy.
Rock, Brock, and Randy. Yeah, very young guys. Even Cena. Cena was younger.
Yeah.
But Hunter was young too. I think a lot of people don't realize because he was so big.
Yeah.
Hunter was 30.
Yeah.
29. I think 29 in his peak. At that boom period. So you got a lot of young guys that were really good, and they were not only just really good in the ring, but they were creative outside of that too. They loved their characters. They lived it. Yeah. And I feel like now these guys, they show up on TV. They're actors now. And that's how they're being portrayed. They're playing the role. They go, they read the script, and then they're done for the day, and they go and play video games.
Right.
They work out. They hang out, and they just show up to work. They're not living the gimmick, and I'm not saying they should, but you got to look at historically how this works. These guys don't come in on their own till they're in their 30s. You got a couple years with them. AJ Styles, this guy had a tremendous career.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until he was in his mid to late 30s going to New Japan, becoming and going to WWE that now he's recognized as one of the greatest of all time.
Same thing with Flair.
Flair's fascinating because he always looked old.
That is true. That is 100% true.
But this guy had 4 careers. He had his NWA career. He had his WCW career. He had his WWE career. Then he had the career after returning where you got the spark back. Fascinating.
Then he had a TNA career.
He had this weird. You know what? There needs to be, if there's any positive with WWE buying Impact and a library, it would be for all those weird Flair matches that nobody ever saw, the Foley matches that nobody ever got to see. Booker T, Sting. These guys had a whole separate career that nobody recognizes.
That Ric Flair Foley match,
unbelievable.
TNA is ridiculous.
Unbelievable.
It's amazing.
I mean, it could have possibly been one of their best matches in their entire career.
And it stemmed from Flair calling Foley a glorified stuntman.
Yeah.
And Foley taking legitimate offense to it, and then they had a ridiculous match. And you still don't know if it changed Flair's opinion, but they had a bloody, real kick-ass match.
PWI Women's Top 100 came out this week. You want to go down this list? It's actually very interesting.
Hang on one second.
I'll go backwards here.
PWI Top 100?
It's PWI Women's 100. Here's the top 10. Iwatani.
Oh, okay.
Number 10. Io Shirai, number 9.
Great.
Riho, number 8.
Interesting.
Number 7, Tessa Blanchard.
Uh-huh.
Number 6, Shida.
Oh, wow.
Number 5, Sasha Banks.
Interesting.
Charlotte Flair.
Okay.
Asuka.
Okay.
Becky Lynch.
Interesting.
And Bayley.
Okay.
I think that's a very fair assessment of that of the standings.
I would have bumped Io Shirai up a little more. But I do like Bailey as number one. She's really had a lot of airtime in the last year.
I think Bailey, Becky, Asuka, Charlotte, Sasha. I would maybe Sasha not a number 5. I think I would have bumped her a little lower, but I think that's a pretty fair assessment of the list.
Even the 10 to 15 is great. You know, Rhea Ripley, Jordan Gray, Shayna Baszler, Thunder Rosa, and Kimberly. So
It just shows you WWE controls
women's wrestling.
We've
said that
right
for
now.
a while too.
Yep.
They have such an odd, like, I don't know. I wouldn't call it a stranglehold, but they have such an odd grip on women's wrestling, and everybody ends up looking like a superstar. And I thought about this too, and I'm going to try to word this well, and I want your opinion on this. Okay. You don't really see too many WWE women's wrestlers saying, I'm leaving. I want to go to Stardom or I want to go somewhere else because I need the freedom.
It's all about the money, honey.
Right? Like,
who's paying them?
Right. But that's true. So, like, all that stuff with Bailey and Sasha being upset about everything, can you really see anybody in that top tier women's division leaving?
Yes. Take
Mickey James out of the picture. I feel like she's the one. She'd go somewhere else.
I think Sasha would go somewhere else.
Okay.
We don't. Again, a lot of this also has to do with the fact that female wrestlers have a much shorter career compared to their male counterparts. No matter if you're on top or you're not, their careers are a lot shorter. Just how it is. So your main event spot is much shorter. So where would you want to be to get the most money? You're gonna go to WWE. You know, I think for some people, it's a little different. But I think for the most part, you know, you're seeing this. You know, people start they start off in their 20s. Now by the time you hit your 30s, either you've been injured,
right?
You've gotten burnt out. You've either started your family. It's a lot less of a longevity run compared to the men. You know, that's the reality of it. How many 50-year-old wrestlers do we have currently? How many almost 50-year-old wrestlers do we have on top currently? How many 50-year-old female wrestlers do we have on top?
Oh yeah.
How many 45-year-old female wrestlers do? It's a very different priority people have.
Yeah.
And not saying that it's the right thing or the wrong thing. I'm just saying it's their choice. So I think most of the women in WWE that have wrestled there, they get married, they start a family, or they stay, you know, they go on to something else.
Yeah.
But you're not going to have those big jumps.
Right.
Because it's financial.
So, but I think it's an interesting proposition because you always hear about, like, you know, I don't want to sign with Dev, like Miro, good example, you know, or even like Gallows and Anderson. Like, if they wanted us to sign again, it's not going to happen, you know?
Listen, you throw $1 million a year, they're all going to jump.
Okay.
Like that's, I find that a lot of people, they think it's all about pride and selling out and not, no, it's about money. This is a very dangerous job. Don't you want to get paid the most or have the easiest schedule?
Okay.
You know, it's either coming down to I want the easier schedule, which everybody has now.
Okay.
So that's off the table.
Right.
So now it really comes down to, I want to make as much money as I freaking can. If you already haven't. You know, Miro's made a lot of money. So for him now, his priority is to go and have fun and do what he wants to do. But if WWE is going to throw $1 million at him, and AEW is going to throw him $350,000 or $500,000, where would you go? I would go to WWE in a heartbeat.
Okay.
I work the same amount of schedule. I have everything taken care of. I'm in the biggest company.
That is an interesting fact that they do take care of every single thing that you need, right?
Yeah. Your whole life is taken care of.
There was a Gallows and Anderson podcast from a few months ago where they were talking about starting in TNA, and Anderson was basically like, "Oh, we got to book our own travel. We got to book our own hotels, because WWE would take care of everything for them."
Yeah.
Right? They take care of catering. They take care of all that stuff. You know, like, you got to be in this building at a certain time. This is your room key or whatever. You know, it's very fascinating. Again, but we're not in the business, so you can never really tell. I think going back to the Jay White point, do you think if he was offered a crazy contract, do you think he'd take it?
Who is this?
Jay White.
Yeah, I think Jay White's looking to come here.
Okay.
I don't know where he's going to end up. I I think the scheduling, now that it's going to be a lot less, even when they do go back to doing a house show on a Saturday, it's going to be a lot lighter of a schedule for these guys. It seems like they're going to be working a lot in Florida. So I'm guessing that a Florida loop is going to be the first thing that they put in, and then they'll slowly figure it out. But somebody else is here now.
Oh,
Jesus,
no. Somebody's going to be knocking at the door.
Here?
You need to put like a little camera right outside.
Yeah, leave me alone.
And with like a little buzzer on it or something. With another little monitor.
Yeah.
You want to do questions?
Let's do Q&As, boys and girls. Let's do it. Submit your questions in the chat room, and we'll do our best to answer them.
I do like how as soon as the show started, people were like immediately with the questions. Now is the time for the questions. Give us your questions.
Give us your questions.
We'll answer them. Shin is ruling the chat room right now.
What is he doing?
This guy's rocking. This guy's making jokes. He's calling people out. He's talking about Baron Corbin.
He got $5 from Faustino.
Me and him have a new tag team. All this stuff is happening right now.
We didn't talk about AEW. What did you think of AEW's anniversary show?
Oh, I loved it. I really enjoyed it.
Good main event.
Great main event. I did like the Cody Orange Cassidy thing. They're doing a very good job of not making Orange Cassidy too silly.
I thought it was a okay match.
It was fun.
It was a good match. It was a fine match.
But Cody putting on 11 pounds of muscle and looking like a giant didn't do any wonders for.
No.
Cassidy.
Well, you just realize how big these WWE guys are. You know, I'm not really a fan of going back to Darby Allin.
Okay. Why?
I think Cody, because Cody has to win.
Okay.
Cody has to win. So keep Darby on those other people. Also, NXT, spin the wheel, make a deal's back.
I'm cool with that.
I love it. Very excited for the spin the wheel. And Shotzi is my new favorite character in the entire company.
Oh, she's the best.
Entire character.
All right, you ready for questions?
Let's do it.
Anthony JCP, how would you debut Jay White in NXT?
Who would he feud with? Let's see. Jay White and Adam Cole. I mean, not happening, but
okay.
He would need an Adam Cole. He would need a guy like that.
I would debut him much like they debuted Finn with Kenta. Where Kenta kept getting beat down by the Ascension and beat down every week. And he was like, I called one of my friends in Japan. Do the same exact thing with Finn Balor. Finn Balor's getting his ass kicked every week. I had to make a phone call. Out comes Jay White. Blah, 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 blah. They do the tag team. Jay White turns on Finn. They do the same. They go back to the well with a fake too sweet. Jay turns on him. And then there's your first feud for him.
Okay. I'm into that.
Let's see. Did you see Tessa in Florida?
Did I see Tessa in Florida? I haven't been to Florida in years.
You personally?
Yes, Tessa's in Florida, but I think everybody's in Florida.
Yeah.
It's the carniest state in the United States.
In the world.
So,
Batcher 3000, do you think Roman should ditch the SWAT pants?
Okay, can we talk about this? Yes. I couldn't believe, like, I'm just looking at this and I'm like, you know what? Vince is off his game. You know how I know? He would never let two big, gigantic dudes go out there wearing cargo pants.
No shirt and SWAT pants?
No. Well, he has no shirt. He's wearing cargo pants and those and the military boots. Okay. And what the hell is Braun wearing?
Oh, like the dirt man pants. Same
shit. Same exact outfit, but he had a weird, stretchy shirt tucked in.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at this. I'm like, these aren't wrestlers. I honestly looked at him like, why would you do that? Why would you not have them in something unique? I hate the SWAT pants, but Roman does it, so that's fine. But you got two people wearing the same exact outfit. They're just wearing pants, a belt, and boots.
I know you don't like that.
I hate it. It sucks. It does nothing. They just look like normal dudes.
If Roman starts coming out with dog tags, I feel like that would be weird.
Thong.
I don't mind the SWAT pants. I think it's kind of fun how like he's the champ on SmackDown and he's wearing SWAT pants and boots, and also Mox is the champ on.
And he wears SWAT pants
and he kind of wears SWAT pants and boots, except he comes out with like the dog tags.
Just it's weird. I put him in wrestling gear.
You want to see him in a singlet?
Singlet, one arm.
Oh yeah, like Andre.
Yeah.
All right, let's see the SWAT pants. Oh, how do you feel about Raw Underground being canceled? And this is my question. And part two. What happened to Dalvacoto?
Okay, so Raw Underground got canceled for. I knew this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. Actually, because here's the thing: the same week that it got canceled, the story came out that the original concept for name was NXT Underground. And they had filmed a pilot episode at the Performance Center that was going to feature a lot of these guys that you don't see on the main roster, on the main NXT roster, that you would see that normally would work the Florida loops, right?
Okay.
So you give them some TV time on NXT Underground on the WWE Network, a 1-hour NXT show where you could kind of profile some of these guys. Like, think about how long Keith Lee was signed to a contract and wasn't really featured on TV in NXT. Right? This would be where you would see that guy. They have tremendous amount of wrestlers on there. So I don't know if they're going to go ahead with this since they built out that building at the Performance Center and they may use the name.
Okay.
I
think it's dead in the water. I think it's done.
I guess so.
Raw Underground is a done deal. You ready for the next question?
Yes.
We had a good one from Shin. A lot of people are deleting their messages. All right.
No. Faustino put him in timeout by mistake.
Okay.
His question was, did you separate your shoulder rubbing one out?
Yeah, baby. Thanks,
yes,
bud.
I did.
Shin Solidus. What's up, Shin? It's my favorite person in the world right now. How are you guys liking Eddie Kingston in AEW? Do you see him ever winning the world title? Love it. Love him on AEW. I can see him winning the world title in a fluke win and then losing it the next week.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Who are you talking to right now?
I was just making everything okay in the chat room.
Yeah, all right. Make it okay, Andrew.
Yeah, go ahead.
How are you guys liking Eddie Kingston? Suncast, can you edit this?
Yeah, thank
Shin
you.
Solidus, how are you guys liking Eddie Kingston in AEW? Do you see him ever winning the world title? I love him in AEW.
I do too.
I can see him winning the world title and then losing it the week after.
Okay. I can see that. No, I think he's great. I think he's one of the best promos in the business.
Oh, forget it.
And this guy's been around for a very, very long time. I don't know if he's going to be the guy that beats Mox because at this point you've set him up. Whoever that guy is has to be the man.
Exactly. So Kenny,
because
the tournament starts next week.
Yeah. So by the way, those matches next week are going to be really good. You're going to get Kenny and Janela.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. Is that match going to happen because everybody tested positive from Joey Janela's show?
Oh my God.
So it's him and Janela, and I forgot what was it? Penta and
Phoenix is in there.
Phoenix. Yeah. So it's going to be a nice week next week.
Yeah. There's a lot. I think Hangman's in it too. There's 8 dudes in the tournament.
So does it lead to Hangman and Kenny? Is that what's going to be the finals?
Probably, and then Kenny wins.
And then Kenny wins.
Takes the belt off Mox.
Takes the belt off Mox, and now he's a heel? Or he's the cleaner?
He's the cleaner.
I'm okay with this. Love that.
All right.
I think, you know what? Kenny would be the guy.
Okay.
Kenny would be the guy.
Do you think Becky Lynch will come back?
Yes.
After
but not in a full... Listen, also, it's very easy now for anybody to come back because you're working one night a week.
2 years.
You think she's going to take 2 years?
I think she's gonna have the kid, and she's gonna do 1 year maternity leave, and then she's gonna do the comeback after 1 year.
Well, you're gonna need about quite some time after the baby,
right?
So, yeah, maybe
at some point she'll come back.
But again, it's gonna be a lot easier now if they stick to a lighter schedule, which I anticipate they will. This is gonna be a very different way to look at things. You know what's more justifiable for you, Rich? If you got a kid, you go to Florida once a week for 2 days, you film everything you need to do, and you go back home. So you fly out on a Monday morning, you're there Monday afternoon, you leave by Tuesday afternoon or Wednesday, now you're home Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I think that's going to be a lot easier.
All right. I'll agree with that until everything gets quote-unquote back to normal.
Yeah.
Chocolate Thunder. When do you think Roman will lose the title because The Rock's not taking it? I'm going to say sometime next. Yeah.
You don't know that.
I don't know, man. I'll say sometime next year.
First of all, does Roman and Rock have to be for the title? How about that? Let's ask that question first.
That's a good point. But I think with that match, you need the title on the line because the title will signify him being the tribal chief. You can't be a chief without a crown, right?
You can't be a chief without the crown, but he is the patriarchy. That's what the fight is over.
So stupid. It's great, but it's also so stupid. Let's see what else we got here. Poor Dabakoto. Who takes the title off Roman?
Oh, so let's talk about Dabakoto. What
Sure.
the hell happened to him? I don't know.
Yeah, he disappeared, right?
Yeah. Let's see.
Let's see.
There's no announcement that Rock is coming back. It's not officially announced or anything. But
Yeah.
if you look at what they're building on TV, if you really understand their philosophy of how they book, everything is pointing at The Rock being Roman's opponent because they've removed everybody that could possibly be his opponent and moved them to Raw because you need a heavier roster on the Raw side because guess what? You don't have a Rock to pop the numbers.
Right.
So you've done a more heavy sided roster on the Raw side. Yes, it's 3 hours, but you also need to keep people in the mix. If your concentration for the next, we got 2 months left. You got November, December. So you got January, February, March, April. You got 4 months. Why would you move people over to do nothing? Keep it open and have The Rock show up at Royal Rumble or whenever he's going to show up, and you build that story.
Yeah.
Or the other thing could be who's going to win the Rumble. That's the other question here.
Yeah.
I think Edge would be a great candidate to win the Rumble.
And Randy takes the title off of Drew.
Yep.
Okay.
And,
I like that.
And then you have the title on Edge. You put the title on Edge at WrestleMania.
Has Edge won the Rumble before?
Yes.
Okay.
Didn't he win that year that he showed up? He returned?
Huh. I guess
2008? 2009?
2007? I guess if you're going to have a
2010?
I guess if you're going to have WrestleMania and your two main events are Rock and Roman and Edge and Randy Orton, I'd be okay with that.
Edge won in 2010.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. What's the deal with Andrade? Is the office still down on him? Well, rumor has it that he's going to get put back on NXT, right?
Well, originally I had heard that it was Nakamura that was going to go down,
Sweet.
which I loved.
Same here.
I was really into that. But
Yeah.
that had to do with the flip for Balor. So Balor, this is before the COVID concept, right?
Okay, yeah.
With them having to adjust for this. So Balor was going to go down till SummerSlam. He was going to do a lighter schedule, build up some guys for NXT because their TV was sucking. Then you were going to move somebody else in. So the concept was, you know what? Nakamura's in Florida anyway. Oh, it's Jay White.
Yeah.
No, it's Rocky.
You have facial dysphagia, my friend.
I did. I don't know why I said Jay White. I have Jay White on my mind. It's that dude all the way at the end. That's Jay White.
Yeah. Oh my God. The Harry Potter guy?
The Harry Potter guy. Who is that? What's his
I'm
name?
not sure. It's Kevin Kelly, Rocky Romero, and an unknown.
I want to say his name is Eric Schwartz.
Okay. I'll go with that.
Can we call him that?
Sure.
Okay. My brother had a friend in school, Eric Schwartz, looked just like that guy. Very dweebish.
Let's see. What do we got here? Do you think Sonata is winning the G1?
I think it's going to be Ibushi.
Ibushi? Okay. Sonata winning would make a good story with him beating Naito, right?
Yeah, that would make a great story.
Like the LIJ stuff, but I think Ibushi and Naito tore each other to pieces for that IC belt, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the match I want to see at Wrestle Kingdom.
Do you find it weird that they didn't put the title on Ibushi last year?
I feel like there's something that's preventing them from doing it, but for all intents and purposes, that dude should have been a world champ at least 2 times over.
Oh yeah,
at this point,
I agree with you 100%.
You know,
we got so many questions here.
Okay.
I didn't touch on Andrade.
Sorry.
I don't know. I saw that he tweeted about NXT. I would love for him to go to NXT. Again, big fish in a small pond. I think that works great for him. He was Paul Heyman was a huge advocate for him, was really pushing him, but it seems like now Angel Garza's their guy.
But he's hurt, right?
Who, Garza?
Yeah.
I think everybody's a little hurt. Yeah, Garza's hurt. So we'll see what happens. I'm okay with him going down to NXT.
Same here.
It's not even going down. It's shifting over to another product. Listen, he's a very he's a very good worker, and he's very charming, and he could work if they allow him to. You know, Drew, for example, is a great example of how NXT can make you work and rebuild you.
Oh,
This guy
absolutely.
left,
Absolutely.
built his character, built everything that he was doing,
Mm-hmm.
and then now he goes to NXT. He has a great run. He gets hurt, and he goes to the main roster.
Great.
Great.
Okay. What do you think of Will Ospreay turning on Okada?
Okay.
B. Priestley showed up, cost Okada the match because Will Ospreay is in chaos. Now he turns on Okada. I think he's like he doesn't have any faction now.
He has no faction.
Yeah.
This over? Did the show finish?
Yeah.
Yeah, it did.
I think it's a good move because now that's your next Okada feud.
Yeah, I think Will Ospreay is going to be a big star for them.
Mm-hmm.
He's put on a lot of muscle.
Oh, yeah.
He's put on weight. He's much bigger than he was years ago. You know, you look at Ricochet and look at him, right?
Yeah.
Just compare, very similar style. I think
Mhm.
Okada. I think Will Ospreay is a little bit more refined
Yes.
as like a main event style wrestling because he doesn't just do flips. I think Will Ospreay could be a huge star.
Absolutely.
It's just a matter of will he allow himself.
I think having him feud with Okada now will do nothing but wonders for him because working with Okada puts you kind of in like the upper echelon of New Japan.
Andrade is getting surgery.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Ospreay working with Okada from now on is going to put him in the upper echelon of New Japan, which is probably what they wanted to begin with. Why else would you put him in Chaos, right? You put him with arguably the biggest star New Japan has ever had.
Yeah.
Right? Him and Tanahashi, A and B. And I think you're going to get that's going to be their match at Wrestle Kingdom, right?
Yes. Yeah, that's the match.
That's the match.
Yeah.
Ibushi or Sonata versus Naito. And then I think you're going to get Evil and Jay White probably, right?
Evil and Jay White. That looks like that's what's being built.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Adam Page versus Kenny Omega, main event, Double or Nothing 2021.
Adam Page versus Kenny Omega, Double or Nothing 2021. It depends.
Mhm.
There's definitely a story there, but it shouldn't be for the title. I don't know if that should be for the. Eventually, it'll be for the title. Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think Toni Storm's potential is?
Tremendous.
Through the roof.
Through the freaking roof. I've always been a big fan of hers. The problem was, Dave Meltzer said this years ago, and they said, you look at a gimmick like hers, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's a cute tomboy. She does the baseball thing under her eye. She got the backwards hat. That's only cute for a certain amount of time.
Okay.
Right?
And it's time to get serious.
No, but you can't. That gimmick doesn't work on a 36-year-old.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It works for a 20-year-old,
unless it's
20 something, unless it's me, because that's my gimmick.
Mm-hmm.
I literally dress up like Toni Storm every day. That's how I do it. So I think for Toni Storm was that they got really hot on her and they were about to pull the trigger and then they pulled back and they kept her in NXT UK.
Okay.
Now they're pulling that trigger. I think Rhea and Toni could have unbelievable NXT main events.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's in their story. Listen, Toni Storm in NXT, I'm a big fan of hers.
Absolutely.
So it works out. Ember Moon also back in NXT.
I think that works for her.
That works
way better.
So much better for her.
Absolutely. Some people it's weird. Like NXT, it's not a step down. It's more of like a lateral move. It is the third brand, and I think some people work better on that roster. Ember Moon's a great example.
Mm-hmm.
Main event gimmicks that were on that roster, Tucker and Otis. For some reason, they worked better on SmackDown than they ever did on NXT.
Yeah.
Ascension.
And that's a rarity, right?
Yeah. Ascension. They work a million times better on NXT than they would have on the main roster. Authors of Pain, same thing. There's certain acts that need to be there.
Yeah.
Drew made an amazing crossover.
But you look at that guy.
Mm-hmm.
How is he not? Put him in anything.
Right.
How is that guy not the star?
Exactly. Keith Lee, I think, is going to be a good example, too, because there's a high upside for him. Badger 3000, $4.99. Did you both like the Enchante feint that Ricochet did when he faked the chair shot on Monday's Raw versus
By the way,
Cedric?
I got to tell you, that was a perfect Enchante feint.
Yes.
So I was watching it, and Jess goes, Enchante.
Mm-hmm.
He went,
it's perfect.
Whoa! He did one of those. It was great. Thought that was really good.
Oh,
creative.
So good. Let's see. Do you think they'll still push Velveteen?
I don't know. I don't know what they could do with him at this point. I don't know. Take him off TV for a little bit. 6 months.
Okay.
Let him go.
He already was off TV for
I know,
like 6
but
months.
you need more time.
All right.
You need more time.
Anthony asks, why won't Seth versus Ray end?
It's a great question. Because it's going to lead into something. That's what I've been told.
Survivor Series?
Family versus family.
Yeah.
Ugh.
The Messiah versus the Mysterio?
Well, now the big story is that, Murphy has to pick a side.
Murphy.
And he's in love with Sister Mysterio.
Sister
What's her name?
Mysterio. Aaliyah? Aaliyah Mysterio?
Aaliyah?
Yeah.
I want to say her name was Tanya. I don't know why. I want to say her name is Tanya, but it's not. It's Aaliyah. I don't know, man. We'll see what happens.
What happened to Ali? Wasn't he supposed to have a segment on Monday?
He was supposed to have a big promo segment that they cut, and I have no idea why, and
Very
nobody said
strange.
anything.
Very
Dude,
strange.
they don't know that whole thing is so. Were any of them on Raw?
I didn't watch the rest of it. I don't think they did
can't
anything
remember.
on Retribution. They got drafted as a whole. Everybody got drafted.
The whole thing got drafted. Yes. Yeah. Oh no, they weren't. No, I'm trying to remember. They were not on Raw, which is, I guess now they're back to a mid-card act.
If you could pick a name for yourself for Retribution, what would it be?
Slice.
Slice? You'd be Slice?
I'd be Slice.
Would you come out with knives or the soda?
Oh, knives.
Yeah.
But very dull ones, like butter knives?
Butter knife.
Yeah.
Any idea why Mercedes Martinez was dropped from Retribution?
Don't know. I haven't asked.
Same here.
I don't know. But I've been told multiple times that this is not the final form.
Okay.
There's others that will be joining.
You want to do one more question?
Yeah, let's do it.
We'll do one after this. Will there be a Hell in a Cell watch along next week?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I'm out of town.
You are?
Yeah.
Where are you going?
I'm not telling you.
Oh, secret place.
Secrets.
Yeah.
We're taking a little
Nice,
weekend.
good for you.
Yeah. I'll tell you after the show.
Yeah.
I
Good for you.
don't need these guys following me.
Hey, Rich, is that you?
Is that you? Oh my God. Kiss me. Thoughts on Jordan Devlin return this week to NXT UK after the allegations against him?
Great promo.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the allegations were, Corey. So I can't remember what exactly it was for Jordan Devlin. I can't remember. So I can't comment on that. But a very fiery promo. So you're setting up a nice match for the Cruiserweight title because he never dropped it and he had the title with him. So we'll see where it goes.
Okay.
What did you think?
That's whatever. I don't care.
What were the allegations? What did he do?
I don't know. I don't know. I find I consider a lot, like, I'm sure it's awful, but I really don't delve too much into that stuff because I feel like at some point it just becomes gossip.
Yeah.
What would your Retribution's name be? I got one for us.
Okay.
MacBook?
MacBook.
You be MacBook.
Okay.
I'll be Thunderbolt.
I'm okay with this, yeah. So do you go in me?
Sure.
Do I accept you?
Yeah, can we end the show there?
Yeah, let's do it. All right, guys, that's it for this week. We'll see you all next week. I'll do a watch along next week. All good. We'll do a Hell in a Cell watch along. Rich, you're here. Are we doing
Thursday?
A show? Thursday.
I might phone in to the watch along.
Cool.
Maybe.
Let's do that. We're back Thursday this week. I know there's a lot of questions. We got to as many as we could. But follow us on Twitter, Mat Men Podcast. Mat Men Podcast everywhere. Search for us. We're also available via podcast everywhere. Go follow us, subscribe, and we'll see you all next time.
Later.
Take care.